Hello, you welcome to Geekism and welcome back to Pinewood Hills, a realistic British park here in Planet Coaster. If you go ahead and enjoy the video, please let me know by clicking on the like button. And if you're new here and you'd like to see lots more creative gaming for grown-ups, don't forget to go ahead and click subscribe. So we're back here at the entrance. Again, unfortunately, we're doing a bit of a overview of changes this week. Labyrinthitis is still playing up, so normally I get about 4 or 5 hours to play Planet Coaster in a week. I normally sit down one morning and play through till lunch or something like that. I'll play a little bit after lunch, and that's usually my my time lapse. And I press I'm good to go, and that gets turned into a time lapse. Unfortunately, I'm managing like 20 minutes at a time, and so my head starts rattling. 25 minutes or something. I can do a let's play pretty well, but extended game time, it's just stressing me out too much. So I'm coming in here and doing 25 minutes, turning it off for a bit, coming back a little bit later, and it's making the footage very choppy and very hard to follow because I'm jumping all over the place. So instead I thought it'd be better just for a few weeks while my head settles itself down, would just come in and do it like this. So thanks for bearing with me. In the last episode we started a complete redo of the opening area, and I'm just so happy with it. Oh, I hopped over the turnstile then, I haven't paid to get in. Yeah, I'm just so happy with how this area is turning out. It just looks 100 times better, and it looks probably what I've always wanted it to look like, you know, but without having won the parts, but mostly the ability. So I really think that it was worth taking the time to come back over, and something I've been talking a lot about in my own Discord and also the Bro Nation Discord as well, which is a great Discord if you're not in it already. If you're interested in this sort of realistic style building Planco, it's what they're all about over there. You know, I took the time to say, do you know what? A lot of times I can rush to get a video done, and I hear a lot of people in my comments say things like, "Oh, I'm the best Planet Coaster player," and I'm not. There are so many people who are making the most amazing stuff, and I think the problem is I'm a relatively prevalent Planet Coaster player. You know, I pop up quite well on search and things like that, and I think I owe it to myself, I owe it to my viewers, and I owe it to some of the other great creators out there as well to really sort of pay attention and to try and really sort of spend the time to make something look really great and not just kind of churn out for a video. So I'm going to try and bear that in mind as I move forward with this sort of redo, and then also the newer areas that we're building as well. So I've come in and redone these as well. We really sort of toned these back. They were sort of like large flower bed planter bits. We've toned them right back. We've gone for some really simple trees with some iron grating around them. Again, just considering budget and considering what really happens in parks. You know, that is probably enough. And the same over here as well. We've filled up a bit of space. There was a flower bed here, which is something I want to talk about as we look at the new second half. So this is what I've been doing this week. We've had a complete rego of this side. This one hasn't changed as much as that one in layout, but obviously, you know, we completely rethemed it to kind of match the other side there. So we have this lovely sort of balcony, this sort of pagoda thing that we started last time. This area was originally wide open. It had a guest services in there, but you know, thinking about it, it was nice to have an interior, but we don't have wide open doors in the UK because it's usually fucking freezing. So we closed this off and we really toned it down. It is still guest services, but it is now Pinewood Amusements, site office and guest services, and we've got a little pine logo there. Pinewood Amusements is the name of the sort of conglomerate company that owns Pinewood Hills. That is law, that is canon, and I can show you so much because we've got our site, we've got our sort of admin building over here. It is Pinewood Amusements Limited. There you go. So there is canon for that. I'm really quite happy with this building. I forget how good that turned out. That really sort of non-theme park building, although I think maybe the foliage outside needs a bit of a rework. Anyway, we come back in. All these areas need tidying up. Look at all these bits of green here. Anyway, so yeah, Pinewood Amusements, who own the company, they now look after here with the site office and guest services. And then we've got a couple of simple windows, some news articles from people riding roller coasters 100 times or whatever. You know, just Pinewood Hills being in the local news. I wanted those stuck in there. I wanted to keep it really simple. Again, sort of a bit naff. And very much like we did with the Carousel Museum last, just a little bit naff. We kept the ATM in there because, it suits the area and with the sort of place you would find one, and also the game, it's good to have them before the game's concerned. Could probably do with an ATM sign above it there, though, actually. Maybe not out here, but there. And we've also kept the telephones because they are a little overscale, but I just love these. And I love the use of the Dragula covers from one of the monsters' cars there to make them. They look a bit silly from peep level, but higher up they actually kind of make sense. But what I have done is to kind of mix it up a little bit over this side, so we haven't just got railing all the way across. Is covered these up a little bit to give it a little bit of privacy when people come in and use the phone. Now, I'll be honest with you, the chances are these phones don't work, as far as the lore of the park is concerned. They're old, they're real old rotunda phones. Nobody uses these anymore. Everyone's got mobiles. But to be honest with you, because this has kind of grown over so nicely with ivy and some trailing sort of wisteria kind of plants, I feel like they'd have left them there. And they're there, and maybe they work, maybe they don't, but to be honest with you, they're kind of there because, well, I ain't going to rip them out because I ain't dealing with all that plant stuff. So that's kind of the feel I want to go for there. And it's got some nice trellis up on the roof as well. We'll have a little overview look in a little while. Next up is the rental lockers. Again, haven't really done much to these at all, really. Haven't changed these at all, apart from a colouring. I wanted this to kind of, like we did with the vending machines on the other side, the juxtaposition of the sort of beautiful Victorian ironwork, and then lockers, spend money. Okay, so that's kind of the idea. I've kept the sign because I actually quite like the sign. I think it's a little over the top, but in a good way. This is probably an outside company. They sell these, they fit these in for you, and they come with all this branding. And it's kind of like, I can't think of an example in real life, but like U-Haul or something, or the big yellow box company or something like that. They come in and they say we're the lockers. So this would be recognisable. This sort of colour scheme. Oh yeah, it's lockers. Yeah, so it's nice and safe, and they can look after your stuff. And to be honest with you, I quite like this build. I think these turned out pretty well. They're well scaled. They're well sized. They're quite realistic. So I'm happy with keeping those there. So we've just moved the sign down. Then we move over. We moved the clock from over there to over here because I was really struggling for something for this larger space here. We've also put some of these new vintage bins around, just this opening area. They'll go into more plainer bins as we go. And then next up, we did originally have a park map here, but I was never quite happy with it, and it didn't really fit this new style. So that's gone for now. Here's the flower bed I'm not a fan of, to be honest with you. I don't mind the look of it. I think it looks okay, but I feel that it's a little close to all this here, and it makes the throughput's a little weird. The problem is, underneath it is this, and I can't do anything with it. I've tried the path, and I don't want to take all this, because if I get rid of any of this path, the whole thing disappears. So yeah, answers on a postcard, please. What I could do with that little bit there, get rid of it or fix it, or, I don't know. Yeah, please, answers on a postcard. We've got another bit here, but I've managed to tie this one in a little bit. I did have a pallet there. It's disappeared for some reason. So this is now a little rose garden. We've got little plaques on here to tell us what the roses are, a little bit of genus placking, they call it, I believe. And we've got some bricks here going in to sort of repair a little bit of the floor. There is a bit more going on here, but it's gone for some reason. But yeah, there's a pallet with bricks on basically here. So a little bit of work in tow here to sort out this bit of damage here. Maybe some of the rose roots have gone in and played up with it or something like that. So we've got a rose boot, and the idea here is that it cuts off this area. Again, it's necessity. It covers up this huge bit of jank planko path that we get when you try and join bits together. A little bit sticking out, but for the most part it kind of runs. I'll show you. We've got a big chunk here that we just can't really do anything with, you see. So instead we do that, and we lock that bit off with barriers. But the idea is, story-wise, sort of park lore-wise, is that it chops off this entrance area, basically, and it now means there's only this space here to be able to get through. Rather than it being all open originally, we've now got hedges this side, we've got rose plants this side, and it means that if you're in the park, you can quite easily completely skip that entrance plaza as you move down this way, into that way, or of course down this way to the original area. So that's the idea there, and to kind of again make more sense of it, we've lined it with chairs on this side for the main thing I've worked on this week, something I'm really proud of, really happy with, which is our sort of traditional dairy ice cream farm. Okay, so here we go. Maybe something could go here. Let me know if you could think of anything to fit there. I tried a little window, but it seemed a bit over the top. So here we go. We've got Strawford Farm. So this is loosely based on a place in the UK in the Wirral called Cheshire Ice Cream Farm, and it's basically a dairy farm that produces its own ice cream, and you could go there and get all different flavours of ice cream. And now it's actually developed into a little park. They have a few flat rides and some petting zoo and things like that. It's really quite cute actually for younger kids. But yeah, this idea of sort of local ice cream. I've gone for a real Cornish ice cream that gives you an idea of maybe where Pinewood could end up. I don't know, it was Cornish or Devonshire, a few of these sort of places that are known for their dairy ice cream. So Strawford Farm, that's just a made up word. I looked at a UK town generator thing online and came up with Strawford, and it sounded nice. And we have this ice cream logo in the window. That came from a Google search for an ice cream parlour called Sunday Sunday. They have this big ice cream in the window that I thought looked pretty good. So none of this is usable, although there is actually an ice cream shop. So I've tried to make it, I mean, it doesn't have to be anything there, but I do still like the idea of guests actually coming and interacting with some of the stuff I build. So it just, they come and stand at the door and disappear with an ice cream. So it's not great, but it's better than them not coming over here at all, I think. But this is the thing I'm really happy about. This is the idea here is that you can go inside and they do milkshakes, sweets, pop and crisps and all different things and thugs, but their main thing is the ice cream, to the point where they actually set up this outside. So this happens at a lot of stores over here in the UK. I'm sure probably other places as well. I know Thornton's, if you ever see a Thornton's chocolate shop, they always have these little things set up, sort of half inside, half out, I guess. You know, this thing would wheel in and out on a morning, and a shutter would come down when they were done. But yeah, that's the idea here. We've got lots of different nice flavours of ice cream. We've got vanilla, we've got chocolate, sort of lemon sorbets, maybe some candy floss or something like that. It's cookie dough, all different variations using some of the candy pieces. I'm just really happy with how this turned out. I just realised that like no bins are getting emptied, which is kind of weird. All the bins are really messy. We're going to have to sort our janitors out. But yeah, on the inside, we're going to clip through here. Oh, I've got to go and turn these snow things off. If I can get in here. This is actually all of Uthris's kitchen set that I'm using here, apart from the cones there, which I know the colour's a little off, but I think they look pretty good. They're snowman noses, but he uses in this set, he uses a couple of these snow things, and they should be turned off, but for some reason they're not. I have done it once, but it looks like I haven't saved recent updates, so it's not a mega interior, but it's enough so that, you know, at a glance as you walk past, it looks like it's done out. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this has turned out. Again, spent a lot of time on this, to be honest with you, and it might be something that you'd notice from now on with Pinewood videos, is that, you know, we don't get quite as much done as we used to, but the stuff we're doing hopefully is a little bit better quality, and a little bit sort of more cared for and more thought about, and that sort of thing. So yeah, hopefully you're okay with that. Let me know in the comments if you are. You know, let me know, you know, sort of your feedback on how this sort of area is shaping up, because this is really, I mean, it's worlds above what it used to be like. I'll put a picture on screen that I showed on a couple of different forums today of the changes from last year. And you can just see how much I've come on just with my abilities. And also, you know, the game itself as well. We've got lots of new pieces, but I think for the most part, it's just my ability and my sort of eye for the game has sort of increased, I think, as we played along. I would like to have carried on a little bit more. Unfortunately, I've run out of time. I wanted to have a go at the amusement arcade. And what I'm going to do with the amusement arcade is actually take a lot of these out and move them to the arcade that we said that we'd do up by Gulpy. So the one up by Gulpy is going to be a little bit tackier, a little bit more 80s. And I'm going to turn this one into a bit more of a vintage one, a bit more of a classic one, using some of the newer ones that we got, the Zoltan and the vintage grabbers and things like that. And basically kind of keep it as a museum arcade, almost to the point where, again, I've seen a few of these at different piers. Southport Pier has one, I think, where you can pay real money, or current money at least, to get a little tub of old pennies, and you can go and play the old penny machines and the old penny roulettes and things like that. So I just noticed a security camera up there. How weird is that? Oh my god, Big Brother's watching us. I'll delete it. But yeah, so maybe, you know, get that more sort of a vintage feel to it. You know, probably move this around a little bit and put a Zoltan out the front here, and make this one a little bit classier, a little bit more well kept. And then over the Gulpy area where the kids are, where the money is, we'll stick all these crazy ones that we built before with, you know, Puckman and Ball Madness and Run Out. You know, obviously we can't use the real words, but you know, change machines there still. These are still pretty happy with these. The problem is with them is, amazingly, they're actually pretty big now compared to the in-game ones. The in-game ones are really well sized, and these are too big, so they need to be remade. Although one thing I saw somebody do that I thought was great, and I'm so sorry I can't remember who I saw it from. I'm going to come out now because we've seen everything. One thing I saw them do was with the new ones. Let's have a look. Scenery. Shops, isn't it? And they're under small attractions. There we go. Not blueprints. Where are they? Come on. Small attractions. Here we go. So let's look at the claw machine one, for example. Let's just come over here. So we've got a bit of room. We don't want to build it. We want to add this down. Okay, so what we're going to do, rather than make our own, is we're going to try our best to use these ones. But for instance, that pumpkin is such a great shape for this. So let's go to pumpkin. All right, and it's one of the tiny little ones here. This one here, pumpkin lantern. Now I don't think we can turn it off. So unfortunately, at night time, it does give off a little bit of light, but not much. So we can kind of make it work. But what I told them to do is they kind of use these. It must have took them quite a long time to do. But they actually went in and skinned these basically. So they went in with the pumpkins and did this. And I'm going to do it really, really quick and badly. In fact, I might not even bother because I'm sure you get exactly what I'm talking about. Hold on. Oh. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do this, am I? Quickly. Try my hardest to do something quickly. Yes, yeah. There we go. Get inside the building. There we go. Okay, select that. There we go. Oh, it still won't let me do it. Okay, but yeah, the idea is that they use the pumpkins or the spiders or anything really that we've got in the game that would make good little giveaways like this. There's not many things that are this small. I think the ones I'd use were the pumpkins, the spiders, and the rats. Mostly spooky stuff actually. And they come in and they'd basically done this with it and took the time to completely cover the Planet Coaster ones with pumpkins. Now, obviously, when somebody comes and plays the game, they're going to reach in, they're going to pull out a Planet Coaster, but I think that is enough, to be honest with you. I think that's good enough to be able to come in here and... which are the large ones? They're the large ones, so I'm pretty sure that's a pretty small one. So we're going to be able to come in here and basically turn this into a pumpkin one of these, and I think that'll work pretty well. So that's going to be the plan. Like I say, I was hoping to have the time to do it today, but I just spent so long on that bloody Ice Cream Parlour. I'm glad I spent that time on it though, because that is, like I say, something that's really important for me. I think is to take the time, and if we don't get as much finished, we don't get as much finished, but we end up with better stuff. So yes, reskinning these basically to give us some other options. I think that's probably a good way to go. And then maybe we might have to do a couple of fake ones just to get in this gap here, because when you come in and put these next to each other, unfortunately, they don't go that close. That's as close as you can get them, even if you shrink the grid down because of the pathing. So you're going to have at least one in between there, aren't you? But the problem is, if we just have a quick look at... oh, where am I here? Oh, yeah, that's another thing I've got. Oh, there is something else I did. There we go. I have done something else. Okay, hold on. Let me just come in here and get one of these. The problem is these ones here, my goodness... no, that's his kitchen set. I've started to get a bit of a graveyard going on over this side of the park. Yeah, look at how big they are. They just don't look right. I mean, you can get big ones, but personally, I think these look a bit rubbish now. To be honest, I think I need to do a better job. Now we've got the in-game ones that look good and they're well scaled. We know we're constantly begging for well scaled stuff, and now they're giving it to us. We've got to embrace it. So yeah, I think we're going to go back and have another little punt at those. So that's going to be the next plan. Anyway, yes, there is something else I did. We'll jump in Tejid Cam so we can see it properly, and that is, like I said, I'm ripping out the pier area, the area this side of the pier, to make it a little bit more vintage and a little bit more sort of classic and a bit more of an original area, which means that some of the Googie stuff has had to be readjusted and removed. So let's quickly show you the awfulness that is this now. Oh my god, how sad, how depressing. The only thing I've kept is the cinema and the dodgems, which I think are both going to work quite well in the new area. Okay, so we're going to have those, and then everything else is going to get rethemed. So from then there all the way down here, it's going to be more sort of traditional sort of boardwalk, a bit more Blackpool kind of feel to it. And then the Googie area is now confined to basically the area that Ruble did. So I need to do a little bit of work on the roof here, but basically the area that Ruble did has now become Googie. I've chopped off some of the queue here for the Speedway, because for some reason the Speedway is more popular than Crack, and the queue is constantly full and people get really annoyed, so I've chopped that down a little bit. It still looks absolutely rammed full. It's crazy. So now the area here that used to have Chief Beef's pit stop that always needed a redo because it wasn't Googie themed. So now we've taken the original Googie building we did, brought it over here and made it Chief Beef pit stop. So coming in this way, you get a better view of it. So we come down here now, we've got Chief Beef Pit Stop, which is an empty building actually. There's nothing in that one, that's just for show. Okay, but we now have these awesome new cars. We originally used the fantastic ones by Wings and Strings that basically looked like in-game assets anyway, but just purely for a part count, we've gone for the in-game one. So we've got a vintage one there, and then we've got a small little backstage bit here that you can get to from the main path there. That comes in, shows us that this needs tidied up just a little. I forgot to do that, look. And then over here it shares it with the other building from over there, which was the Monshore Fleet that we've now brought round here, and it all ties in quite well actually, because now we've got the Dodgems, we've got the pit stop building there, and then we've got, this is now a drive-through. It was a drive-through, it still is a drive-through with our drive-through logo there, and we've brought the gas stations over here onto the path to make people sort of come and have photos with them and stuff. So overall, we'll have a look from zoomed out, but I think this actually turned out quite nicely, and it's tightened the area up a lot. So there we go. So that was the area there that was originally the Chief Beef pit stop, and then all of this was seating. So instead, we've placed this one down and this one down. And okay, I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of buildings here for food, but I feel like that's okay still, because we've still got one right there, and then we're into another third ride here. You know, and you do have a lot of food establishments and shops and stuff in these places. It's quite crazy actually how many there is of them, to be honest with you. So now Sparrow Wharf, we're going to keep it called Wharf even though it isn't a wharf, because I like the name. I think it fits well, and I like the sign. Point, somebody suggested Sparrow Point, which kind of makes sense. Could fit. So again, let me know in the comments whether or not Sparrow Wharf or Sparrow Point which you prefer, because now this sort of boardwalk area, like I say, is going to get completely redone. This is a work in progress. So a little bit of a sneak peek there as to something we're working on, but this is all going to get sort of themed more around this arcade sort of style. So yeah, there we go. Right, I'm going to have to leave it there because my head's starting to rattle. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Again, I will get back to time lapses as soon as I can, but for now, I'm actually quite enjoying the not being watched while I'm playing. So maybe rather than time lapses, I'll just sort of record as I play. Sort of come in every sort of half an hour and have a little go. I don't know. I know Mike N7's been doing that a lot, and it seems to work well for him. I've always preferred the more of a time lapse route, but I don't know. Again, let me know. I'm asking you all sorts of things today. You've got loads to comment down below. I expect you all to be writing essays for me. Thank you. If you've enjoyed it, please give us a like. It really does help out the channel. And if you're not already, don't forget to subscribe. Any thoughts, queries, or suggestions, you can pop it down in the comments. If you fancy a chat, you can find me on Twitter. I'm at JohnTSparrow. If you'd like to join in with the Geekism community, you can do so over on our Geekism Discord server. You'll find the link for that in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.